Good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us on Global Entertainment TV show. And welcome to our show we call Your Opinion, where we tackle the hottest topic in entertainment alongside with the viewers. So be sure to send in your opinion while the show goes on. Send us a message on WhatsApp or interact on your comment section on our comment section as well. We would love to hear from you. So today's topic is very dark man learning the hard way. As we always say, we all are going to learn happy. So who is very dark man? We all know very dark man as Martin Vincent, online known as very dark man. He's a Nigerian activist, a critic and a social media influencer, the mouthpiece of all Nigeria. So Bella, why was he arrested?
He was arrested based on the police uniform that he was putting on,
Okay.
which the police actually think that is against their law for any citizen to actually put on the police uniform, and that was the reason why he got involved with the police.
But to me, I'm thinking, is that the only reason he was arrested, or there's another thing that is aligned to it?
We won't know if there's any other thing, but that was the portrait that they put out, the police put out for the citizen to say that it's because of the uniform that he's putting on, so they have to arrest him for that.
Because if they could arrest very dark man for the uniform, police uniform he was putting on, why didn't they arrest the likes of Brother Shadi, the likes of Kit Abiola, the likes of Cindy Tucker, the likes of other Nollywood actors and actors that use that uniform to act in their movies? Because you can't tell me they actually seek for their permission before using it.
Then I would say that they are waiting for someone to use an scapegoat. So they now use very like dark man as an scapegoat, because they think that he has been preaching a whole lot about it of police being so their friend, and then why would he have to go against that law and then putting on the police uniform?
Okay, let's move on. So we all know that very dark man has been released, but should we call him a hero or a villain?
I'll call him a villain.
Why?
Because he of all people that have been preaching about this whole thing of police is our friend, we shouldn't the law and all that, we should abide by the law and all that. It should not be the same person that have to taste his own portion. What? It shouldn't have gone to that extent of him trying to portray himself as a police officer while he's not, and to the extent of him putting on the uniform. I'll portray him as a villain.
No, you can't just say you portray, because, like I said, if you want to portray him as the villain, what of other people that do that? Because he actually came. It's not as if he even used the uniform as a content. No.
That is the main reason why he was arrested.
He tried to let the police know the role they ought to perform. Know what they ought to do. Because some of them are not taking their job serious. To be candid. Some of them are not taking their job serious.
I will still stay on my villain part. Very dark man has always been preaching about this, and whenever there's a case that comes into his play, why would he have wanted to put on the police uniform to teach the police officers of their work while he's not signed into it in the first place? All this time he has been doing his work, and then he's going to call them into action where there is needed. Why can't he just set his own red light at home, do the needful, tell them that this is how the citizen has been feeling about the police, that this is what they have been doing to them, instead of him trying to put on the uniform and then portraying himself as a police officer while he's not. He's wrong at that.
It's not wrong. I don't agree.
No. Okay, I'm not going to say
because many others
but
makes this mistake.
Many others will make this because very dark man is an activist. He stands on the law. He should know about that. He shouldn't still be the same person that is going to turn around and then try to portray himself as a police officer while he's not.
Okay, so like you said, now moving on to let's go to the opinion. Is he a bad person? Like to me, I would say, is he a villain because of all people is well informed and should not be caught in the same action as they are sent?
That's what's making the villain of all of this. His action is what is the one that is facing the consequences for now. Even if he wanted to say that the police, you guys are not doing your work, the citizen feels like you guys are oppressing them, you have to do the right needful thing. There's ring light, set it up in his room, and then do the talk, put on his normal clothes instead of going too far of putting on the uniform. That is not good.
So are you trying to say Nigeria police force, the way they portray him as for making a mistake so many others have done is good?
It's not it's not good. I'll say that. Likes of others have done it, but
Mm-hmm.
him being an activist,
You shouldn't have done
he shouldn't have done that because the reflection that he's putting out is every other person is going to try it because he's an activist, so they're going to have a mouth to say that isn't this person an activist that speak for every other? So we saw him putting on the police uniform. Nothing was ever done about it. Why? Us?
Okay, let's move on to the we've talked about the William Army now. Let's move on to the Hero Army. Immediately after it was released, we know it fought for so many people.
Yeah.
Imagine someone coming out from court like this with the same clothes, my dear sister. And the same clothes when like after he was being jailed, with the same clothes, he don't even go home. He don't say, okay, make me I go chop like other Nigerians, where they go to. He went out to fight for the children.
In that aspect, I'm going to give him a round of applause. He's doing good, and then that is appreciative of him. But it doesn't mean that the same way that you are doing good, that someone should not be wrong at time. It's the wrong act that he did that the police actually has the reason to get hold of him.
Okay, to me, I think when it does it, they are not people. Do you understand? Sometimes people can get caught in their things and action. Like the way they pay them, that's step to ask. And now, sometimes we ask the way they pay you. Do you understand?
But even if sometimes he do have actions that when he is angry, he just set up his ring light and then he wanted to say and then shout at it. I was expecting him to just do it the same way and then stay in his house, not to be caught up in his own actions of what he has been preaching against. No, this one is the police is our friend and all that, and then here you are being caught up putting on their police uniform, of which you know that is not supposed to be so.
But the guy is really trying.
Yeah, he's trying
But
with that.
what they actually want to bring out from arresting him is what I mean. The guy is really trying. Okay, let's move on to the bail set. My opinion, setting BTN bill at 2 million naira, while the likes of Bobrisky was set at 5 million naira. His bail was his or her bail now calling him. His bail was set at 5 million naira. Then imagine someone when BTN no hurt anybody. If they talk for
His
Nigeria,
own is big
Bobrisky
different.
too na naira carry him go court. Shey you understand? Spend your naira. But person wey slap an Uber driver 2 to 3 times and still saying, I will make you disappear for 1 million naira. I will do this, I will do that. Imagine you now bailing him on 500,000. Nigeria, why not be disappointing now?
I think the law is not just favoring the poor right here. It's not just favoring the poor people, the poor citizens right here. The person that's supposed to have the most consequences are getting away with it because they have money. Very Dark Man own was just the uniform that he puts on, and then he was being set bailed on 2 million naira. The House of Representatives own was just as if that is the power that
This is power of abuse. Like
is
he's using his
is
influence and
using
all.
his influence and all to just put himself in. How he abused this person physically, the
Like
punch and all that, and then you still want. I was expecting at
he's still
least
telling them, let everybody know. I am the Guinea House of Representatives, the Guinea
he's
community.
supposed to at least 3 years or 4 years in jail before they will even
Even
see,
more than that,
even before they
he's
will
supposed
even
to
think
charge
that
like 5 million naira upwards.
before
Because
they
it's
even
worth
think that
it.
before they even think that okay they wanted to set him on bail, he has to learn his lesson.
And
But
now,
those leaders, those judiciary are not setting the example that we the poor masses we have to rely on. We just feels like okay, if you don't have money, you can't set yourself free in any condition that you find yourself.
imagine VGN was just VGN price is just a business less unlike someone who assaulted the person. This guy is just on a plain note trying to lead the police to the right way.
Even
Even though the way he did
even
it
if he's
was
going
not
to yes,
right.
even the way
I
that
said
he
that,
did it
but
was not
it
right.
was supposed to be like even if they look at it in another way, like person go you invited him to come to court. He followed your invite because he did no harm to anyone.
He came out to
But
set
if
the
invite
apology.
if honoring your invite and you now said okay, Obidien, you cannot go home. come put am behind back.
That is wrong. I'm going to say that for the police, Nigeria,
Do you know these people can sue them?
their acts to human and all to the citizen is just so unacceptable in my own term.
This Alex Ikweche wey we dey talk about, he no visit police station. They still went to his house.
He was just
to go and confirm.
He was just taken to court, and then the next thing
like
he was on bail.
Exactly.
He was just taken to court, and then the next thing he was on bail. He was on bail. The Nigerian police are really disappointing sometimes.
Very, very disappointing.
And then it feels like they have to put the right thing as the right things to do. If someone is going to have the effort to assault another citizen, this person has to face the law.
Mm-hmm.
And not just being on bail. He didn't even go to police, did not even arrest him or anything. The next thing he's already he appeared in court, and then he was put on the lesser amount of it. What about the person?
Pay 1 million. Who is it not to pay 5 million?
The person that he assaulted, the person that he beat up, the trauma, you did not even talk about it, not even bring him on to speak for himself. Then he feels like the bail is enough to just put him free.
If not for VTM, do you think people know what happened?
Don't think so.
Because VTM even looked for the guy, still interrogating, still interviewing, tell him to, he asked him to let us know what happened, tell us his own side story. Imagine what if the guy is not even out the jail? That's why everything
just died down. The abuse of power in Nigeria is something that we just needed to look out on. Especially those ones that feel they are at the top already. They can do whatever they like and then put people behind the bars because they have power, and then they are influentials and all that is very, very alarming. And the police in Nigeria as well, they are taking some matters into their hands that feels like it's not even supposed to be that critical. Talking about the Bobrisky being on bail of 5 million naira, I think Kokoli actually did the same thing that Bobrisky did, the naira vandalized and then all that. Few weeks later, and then he just goes scot-free. He was never arrested or anything. What is it going to say that Kokoli have more influence?
The week they arrested Bobrisky was when Yemoli did.
Yemoli.
Yes, when he did it. Will you tell me that they did not spray naira in this thing? But they did not arrest anybody. Why Bobrisky? Still charging for 5 million naira. It's too much.
Nigerian police are not doing their best. They are just based on who is most influenced and who has the most power. They just wanted to go again. A poor masses cannot walk to the police and then feels like you are going to be safe at the end of it. Imagine Verydarkman that have been preaching that police is our friend and all that, trying to encourage the citizens that if you have any issue, you can walk to the police station and then it will be solved. They now turn against him, even though what he does was not good. They now still turn against him and then arrested him. He honored the invite. What else? It's just then you still arrested him at the end of it.
Okay, talking about the justice system, should we say the justice system
is biased?
Making a Verydarkman just for making an example of Verydarkman just because he's an activist.
The justice system is very, very biased. Not just because of the Verydarkman here. To the poor as an example.
Because Verydarkman was accountable for what he did.
He apologized already.
Responsibility for what he did. He apologized for everything he did.
To my own, the justice system is not favoring the poor citizen. It's not favoring. It's only for those that has much fame and has much money that they are going to look at.
So the system, you are just saying that the system favors only the rich over the poor.
Exactly.
Why? Why should Nigeria be like this? How do you want to move forward when Nigeria are like this? Because we say there should be fairness, there should be fairness, transparency.
That was the reason why almost some of the young, they wanted to get rich so fast so that they can have a say. Even when they are going to be oppressing the other, they're still going to know that their money can speak for them. And that is very, very bad. If you can't run to the police and then have a safety there, where will you go next? If the justice is not favoring the poor masses, how will you going to survive? A lot of influential people are actually going scot-free with some acts they did, and then no, they are not saying anything. The moment that is coming from someone that is totally not recognized, that has no money, then they pick that person up.
I used to say, God help us in this Nigeria.
God is definitely going to help us in this Nigeria. God is definitely going to help us in this Nigeria.
Okay, as we conclude our discussion on the very dark man case, remember that accountability no status. Let's strive for empathy, understanding, and responsible action. The very dark man case raised a lot of questions about fame, power, and responsibility. From darkness comes light. Come like say, only the darkness, very dark man is light, from darkness comes light. Okay, may this case inspire self reflection, growth, and positive transformation. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, true strength lies in accountability, like I said again,
And
empathy,
the
and
fairness,
self
transparency, and accountability
awareness.
of all.
Alright, guys, thank you for joining us on today's show, Your Opinion. See you tomorrow, same station, same
Same
time,
time.
and same place. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for
Exactly.
more information and updates on Global
Make
Entertainment.
sure you leave your comments on what you think about the
Yeah,
judiciary, how it favors.
are they actually acting that? Is the justice system that?